Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about the process I went through to build this aluminum furnace. You see it in all my videos, and I thought the new people to my channel that are getting into metal casting might want to see how it was built. If you think this is something that would interest you, stick around and I'll do my best to go through the old footage I have and explain exactly what was going on. Well, this is not a complete documentation of the build, but I did find a lot of pictures I thought might be helpful to some people. It all started off with the 6-gallon pail, and I went ahead and put these legs on it because I'm going to have a drain in this furnace. So I put some roofing straps for legs, nothing extravagant, just ran them in with some self-tapping screws. Then I needed a center for it for the burn chamber, and I had this piece of 8-inch sewer pipe, so I went ahead and cut up a section of that, and that's going to give me my burn chamber for in the center, so you can kind of see what's going on there. Now, what I did not get was me mixing up the refractory, but I'll tell you how I made it. I used a 60% perlite and 40% Portland cement mix and mixed it very dry. And the perlite, pick it up at a garden center, like a landscaping supply. Do not pick it up at one of the home centers because it's too expensive over there. And now that I have this thing rammed up, and I'm sorry I don't have footage of this, but this is what I could find. And I drilled a hole in my sewer pipe so this way I could put a crowbar type thing through it, because this is going to be hard to get out, and that turned out to be true. And you could see that there, this is right after everything was rammed down. You take that dry mix and you really ram it down good, and you end up with something like that. Now in the bottom, you could see right here, I have a piece of PVC, and that's going to be my drain. It goes through the bottom 3 inches of refractory all the way through, out through the bottom. And this little triangle pattern here, I formed that with some dowel rod, and that was going to be, you know, my drain in case my crucible ever failed. The metal would pull up in these little channels and run right out the hole. Well, that's the idea behind that. And now I've pulled out the PVC there and the dowel rods, and you can see my drain hole with the little channels leading to it. It actually works good. I had a crucible fail once. So I put it up on some blocks to help me get that PVC out. Pulled it out from the bottom. And after much struggling, trying to get that 8-inch piece out, that's what I'm left with. And it's looking pretty good. So then I dropped a light bulb in there to help start to dry this thing out. I left that on overnight and during the day for like 2 days. It's just a 60-watt light bulb. I was wanting to dry it out quick because I wanted to use it, but if you just let it sit for a week, you'll be fine. Now this furnace cement, I'll get to later, but this turned out to be a mistake. And here's the furnace after it's fully dried with my crucible in it. And this is the way it looks in the videos as you guys are watching them. And it turned out pretty nice. I was real happy with it. Now this is after I had put that furnace cement that you seen earlier in there. And I kind of wanted a hot face for it, and they said this was good for up to 3,000 degrees. But I'll be honest with you, this stuff cracked and fell out after like 2 or 3 melts. I was not happy with this at all. And I used candles to go ahead and reform the little channels, figuring I would melt those out if need be later. But this stuff turned out to be a mistake. Don't use furnace cement. It just doesn't stick to this Portland cement and perlite mix. So now I put the light bulb back in to try and dry that furnace cement. Now for the lid, I cut the top off a 5-gallon bucket, and here I'm measuring up how much perlite I need. So I went ahead and mixed the perlite, and I had some like fireplace mortar, and I figured I'd try that. If it's good for fireplaces, maybe it'll be good for a furnace. And it worked okay. But I went ahead and weighted down the little center. That's just I don't know, a package of spackle or something, and I weighted it down so it didn't float. And you can see why I made the contraption. I needed to hold up my little U-bolts here. It's kind of a fiasco, but it worked good. So I leave that to dry. And that's what it looks like with the contraption gone. So I let it sit for a couple of days and ended up with that there. Now this thing worked out relatively well. It lasted like, I don't know, 15 melts, and then the heat started taking its toll, and it developed a crack from here to here, and then from here to here, and then it broke in half. And nowadays I just use what you saw in the beginning of the video, which is just a piece of a dryer I cut out in a circle, and I applied some ceramic wool using sodium silicate. And again, this is the lid that you saw in the beginning of the video, and this is what I use to this day, and that will far outlast that other one I made. Well, that's basically all I have on the furnace as far as documentation. So if I would have thought I was going to do a video on it, I would have got a lot more. But I hope for new subscribers and people watching the channel, this may give you some ideas, you know, help you out in constructing yours. It's worked really good for me. I currently have, I don't know an exact number, but probably about 60 melts in this thing, and it's still going strong. So hopefully it helped you out, and appreciate you watching.